Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, President of the Russian Federation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. It's a pleasure to welcome you. Welcome. Congratulations to the Council, all legislators, your colleagues, senators, congressmen. Happy day, Russian parliamentary system. Noting this holiday, we pay tribute to tradition, our statehood, and legislation. History of formation and development, democracy is only time. Events through what we're going through proves its importance. How is this continuity? That's important. Based on its own characteristics, strength and experience, parliamentary system and society as a whole. Russia's political system needs to be stable. And at the same time, create conditions for opening up and updates. Fair competition is different. Political forces unconditionally and clearly understand the priority of the national interest and security, and in general we yearn together, find the most effective. Decisions are vital. For people, I have questions in this regard. I would like to point out the constructive interaction with the legislature, ratio, see, the Russian government, chapter, subject of the Federation, business, and in the field of experts, this applies to all areas of economic, social, and regional development. Of course, special. The unifying issue is our support, heroes of veterans' families, and participants, special. Military operations, the most important legislation has been passed, acts created, additional legal. And social security, I ask them to continue to improve, constantly adjust specific life situation. What else would you like to point out here? How do you know? A special personnel program, Hero Time, has begun to operate. Who is it? These people are soldiers, officers showing. In combat, it's real. Character, leadership, high human quality, I believe. Ratio. They will also prove themselves in future work. In the organs, authorities in the region, education, mentoring. Leading positions in all fields. I'm counting on it. Dear colleagues, what? And political parties will be active, nominate and support such candidates in the process. Campaign. Everyone.
Level, what do you want to point out?
This is not some kind of company. I want everyone to understand. It's just that environment, those people. Which one should we use? Ratio, which one should we choose? Choose people who are willing to serve Russia for future work, who are serving Russia and now they do not hesitate to sacrifice their health and life. Of course. In such cases, it is not even the facts themselves that matter, but the important ones. What kind of person is ready? That new species. His activities are important, not just readiness, but desire is also important. What kind of activity a person is suitable for? He sees many components here. But it's all over. Watch, analyze, and accept carefully. Appropriate decision. Dear colleagues, in March, this year's presidential election is coming. The most important formation stage, the new Russian government. Parliament will have to exercise its constitutional powers under the 2020 amendment to the main body. Ratio, and approved by the all-Russian vote, I believe, parliamentarians. Will they justify this? Trust. Citizens' decision. Raised. The role of the legislature will be responsible and willing to work together on the agenda. Development. On March 19th, at a meeting with faction leaders, we talked to the State Duma. Our implementation. Long-term plan in a message to the federal parliament. By the way, it's all right. A number of initiatives have been launched in the message. Ratio. He was nominated by parliamentarians, representatives of different parties, political forces, regions and municipalities, citizens. and implement. All planned in. Economy, science, technology, culture, society. Sphere. Does term mean anything? Words too. I hope we'll be together. First, we must set a task. People's savings, the well-being of Russian families. Ratio, our country. Much depends on regional and local authorities. From them, inclusion in general work. We are a big country, and it is important to take into account the challenges and opportunities, the potential of each federal subject, and to help them if necessary. Unleash these potentials. I appeal. I now appeal to the heads of the Legislative Assembly, as well as the chairman of the relevant committees of the State Duma and the Federation Council, to act in a unified logic when passing budgets and key laws while understanding the general tasks of the country. It is necessary to use the tools of parliamentary control to achieve the maximum objective effect of each decision and investment. I know that the Legislative Council is already preparing proposals on the substance and funding priorities of our national projects in the coming years, and I am confident that the government will take these proposals into account. I also hope that the Legislative Council will actively participate in summarizing regional best practices in pilot legal regimes and pilot projects. This applies to a new model of pay for teachers, doctors, and other public sector experts, which will be developed at the federal subject level next year. This is a very difficult, capital-intensive, but very important work. Of course, I ask all legislators to pay special attention to the issue of inter-ethnic harmony. Civil world. Ethnic diversity, we Swami always talk about it. The diversity of nationalities, traditions, and cultures in our country is undoubtedly our common wealth and competitive advantage. Why is this not empty talk? Because every nation complements each other and makes us all stronger, including helping us to develop friendly relations with most countries on the earth today and participate in the formation of a just, multipolar world order. In this regard, we must build on the basis of mutual trust, respect, and the identity of our peoples. I ask you to consider this pragmatic, balanced approach and parliamentary diplomacy. Intensify efforts in this regard, including developing contacts with our friends and partners through the Eurasian Economic Community, DUC, BBCIS, SKIO. Of course, there is a promising growing association like the BRICS countries. In addition, this year, within the framework of our presidency, the 10th anniversary BRICS Parliamentary Forum is planned. Dear colleagues, friends, the workload to be done is very large. I request that federal and regional laws related to the implementation of our priorities and the achievement of national development goals be carefully and professionally considered as soon as possible, and that modern technological capabilities and digital platforms be actively used in the legislative process for extensive discussion, initiative, and so-called feedback. From the perspective of citizens, this innovation is certainly beneficial, but I would like to emphasize another point, but it will not replace hard and thoughtful work. Legislators need to further improve the quality of legal technology in rulemaking culture and strive to make the law clearer, and more effective in law enforcement. In this regard, let me remind you of the words of Joseph Alexievich, a famous domestic scholar and lawyer. Pokrovsky said more than 100 years ago that the basic requirements of law are first and foremost its certainty and accuracy. We should not only be proud of the profound tradition of our law school, but also apply its rich heritage. Today, in practice, the position of the Legislative Council is also very important here. Dear colleagues, I would like to conclude by congratulating you on the upcoming holiday and on Victory Day, which is sacred to all of us. Of course, I wish you success. The upcoming large-scale work is in the interests of Russia and our people, and we look forward to continuing the closest partnership with the Federal Parliament. The goal of regional legislators, colleagues, local governments, all the best. Thank you for your thanks.